Living Fall Touch Story starts now.
I told myself I would never love another dog again because the last time I did, it shattered my heart into pieces. When my dog died a few years ago, the silence in my home became unbearable, so I made a promise to myself: no more dogs, no more heartbreak. But life has a strange way of breaking promises. A few days ago, I passed by an abandoned brick factory. It seemed forgotten by the world, broken walls, rust everywhere, and not a single person in sight. Then I saw a little brown puppy sitting completely alone in the middle of the ruins. It didn't bark, it didn't run, it just waited. Our eyes met for a single moment, but that moment stayed with me all day, and that night, even as I tried to sleep, I couldn't shake the thought of that puppy sitting alone in that quiet factory, waiting for someone. Maybe it was waiting for me. So every day on my way to work, I returned there. My heart pounded. Deep inside, I knew something. Maybe I hadn't come to save that puppy. Maybe that puppy had come into my life to save me. A few days later, I woke up early in the morning with a decision on my mind. Before my thoughts could change, I told myself something simple. Go see him one more time, then decide. So I prepared some delicious dog food, and I went back to the abandoned brick factory. The same broken walls were there, the same quiet air. And then I saw him again, the little brown dog. When he noticed me, he looked a little unsure at first, like he was still trying to understand who I was, but I kept visiting him, day after day. Slowly, something changed. His tail began to move when he saw me. His eyes looked softer, and in that moment, I felt something strange. It felt like he was starting to see me, not as a stranger, but as family. I placed the food down in front of him, and the way he ate, I will never forget it. He devoured the food so quickly, like he hadn't had a proper meal in a very long time. Watching him eat like that, my heart made the decision before my mind could. Even though he couldn't speak, I gently asked him something. Do you want to come home with me? The little dog stopped eating for a moment. He looked up at me. His tongue slipped out slightly as he stared into my eyes. For some reason, it felt like he understood. And in that quiet moment, it felt like he was saying yes. So I reached down and carefully lifted him into my arms. I carried the little dog in my arms as I walked toward the crosswalk. As we stepped onto the street, I could feel his tiny heartbeat against my chest. For some reason, that small heartbeat made my own heart feel lighter. It had been a long time since I felt something like that. He stayed completely calm in my arms, quietly looking around as cars passed by, almost like he trusted me already. Instead of going straight home, I decided to take him somewhere first, the animal hospital. I wanted to make sure he was okay. When we arrived, the veterinarian gently checked him from head to tail. During the entire health exam, the little dog behaved so calmly. No barking, no fear, just curious eyes and a softly wagging tail. The doctor smiled and finally said something that made me breathe again. Don't worry, he's actually in good shape. Aside from ear mites and a bit of malnutrition, there was nothing seriously wrong. Hearing that felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I looked down at the little brown dog sitting beside me. He looked back at me with those same quiet eyes. So I smiled and said softly, "All right, let's go home." The first thing I did upon arriving home was to prepare warm water. This little puppy had lived on the streets for a long time, and its fur was covered in ticks. So I carefully washed it. At first, it stood still in the warm water, a little bewildered, as if it didn't know what was happening. But after a while, it felt comfortable. I carefully washed the dirt off its little body. As the water flowed through its fur, its soft, curly hair began to come alive, and suddenly, I remembered someone. It was my old dog, Milo. Milo was a brown poodle. Milo's curly hair was just like this puppy's. As I gently stroked the little puppy's fur with my fingers, memories of Milo slowly came flooding back. For a long time after Milo's passing, the sadness in my heart never completely disappeared. But in that quiet moment as I washed this little puppy, something in my heart began to lighten. I found myself smiling. It was the first smile I'd had in a long time. After drying the puppy, I went into the storage room. There was something I hadn't touched in years. It was Milo's wooden house where he'd lived as a puppy. I carefully took it out and placed it on the floor. Then, looking at the little puppy, I spoke softly. This was Milo's, but now it's yours. For a long time, I believed I could never open my heart to another dog again. Losing Milo left a quiet emptiness that I thought would never disappear. But I realized something. Sometimes healing doesn't arrive in big moments. Sometimes it comes in the form of a small animal who quietly walks into your life and changes everything. Do you have a little animal friend who helped heal your heart too?